Today we shall discuss about figure of speech. It is one of the best art of our language, and we can express our desired opinion in a desired language. So figure of speech is a very important, especially for language. In absence of understanding of this figure of speech, it is impossible to express your opinion in desired way. I tell you a very simple thing. In this world, most of the people, even we can say except 0.%, most of the people used to speak, but we listen the voice of very few. Why? Because they have an art to express their language, and they have such attraction in their language. How? Because of that figure of speech. They know how to express the language to make more effective over the mind of audience, over the mind of readers. So this art is very important to understand. Everything in life is a very well accepted when that is decorated well, ornated well, or even beautified well. We try to beautify ourselves. We try to ornate something. Same way, we have to ornate our language also. Our language, how much ornated and how much given the best effort so that to put the effect over the mind of the reader or the audience. Therefore, we should understand the figure of speech. In another language, I can tell you, figure of speech just like the ornament. Just like ornament. When we go to the any wedding function, thousands of women are there, but out of thousands, a single bride or bridegroom would be there. But we may able to identify easily out of thousand because of that ornation of both that bride and bridegrooms. So this particular ornation, that means way of decorating, tells clearly. Nobody there is standing to tell you that who is and where is bride and bridegroom. But you simply identify this particular person will be the bride or bridegroom because of the ornation. They are ornated way in such a way that we identify easily. Same way, in language also, we can ornate our language by giving the desired image to. And that's why the figure of a speech, that means whatever we speak, we should try to give the such image that required for. So that figure of a speech is just like ornament, and language is just like a bride. How we ornate the bride? By using the ornament, same way figure of a speech ornates the language. Here we shall go to the different devices. That means under the figure of a speech, different devices are there, and those devices applied according to the requirement and the need of the time. So now we shall discuss those devices one by one. First I come to the simile. Simile is an art of expressing the language by comparing two different things at one point of view. Two different things. So there is a need of comparison. Therefore, we need some comparative device, and comparative devices out of which that simile is there. Even metaphor, comparison, parallelism, these are the comparative devices. But the most used comparative device is that simile. What we do or what we try to express through the simile. So first I define the simile in simple way so that you can understand. I'll give you the example. First, simile is an art of comparing. I repeat here once again and you try to understand. Simile is an art of comparing two different things, not same thing, two different things at one point of view. That is called simile. So you will write here an art of comparing two dissimilar things at one point of view is called simile. An art of comparing two dissimilar things. Remember, two things we have to consider in this particular case. Dissimilar, different thing, not the same thing. We can compare two different things. And the second point that we have to consider, one point of view, not all point of view. Under the category of simile, we compare two things at one point of view. As the example, DaCosta found the pattern like a tiger. DaCosta found the pattern like a tiger. Here in this example, you can see DaCosta found the battle like a tiger. In this example, I happen to compare the DaCosta with the tiger. I have compared the fighting quality of DaCosta, one point of view. Only fighting quality of DaCosta with the tiger. Number one. So one point of view is given. In this example, it is a very clear. I have compared not the DaCosta, I have compared the fighting quality of DaCosta with the tiger. So one point of view comparison is there. And the second condition, two dissimilar, two different things. So here DaCosta is a human being and tiger is a beast. So comparison between the human being and beast, two different things. So simile is an art of comparing two different or two dissimilar things at one point of view. Same way, another comparison device is metaphor. So we shall come to the next metaphor. Metaphor. Under the category of metaphor, we have to understand that what difference that we create by using metaphor from the simile. Simile is a comparing device and metaphor is also comparing device. Then what are the differences between the simile and metaphor? Simile, two dissimilar things. Metaphor is also an art of comparing two dissimilar things. Remember, simile is also an art of comparing two dissimilar things. Metaphor is also an art of comparing two dissimilar things, two different things. But the only difference is not one point of view. When we compare one thing with another at all point of view, in that case, that particular example of simile becomes metaphor. So now, an art of comparing two similar things at all point of view is called metaphor. Here also two dissimilar thing, but all point of view, this particular change makes simile to metaphor. Under the simile, we compare at one point of view. Under the metaphor, we compare at all point of view. So I give you the example of metaphor, then it will be clear and it will be more clear. So come to the example of metaphor. This example I picked up. The Costa fought the battle like tiger. The Costa was a tiger in the battlefield. De Costa was the tiger in the battlefield. Here, De Costa completely supposed to be a tiger here in the battlefield. So I haven't compared the simple or any single quality of De Costa with the tiger. I have made the De Costa completely tiger in the battlefield. So here the all point of view is applicable. So this particular thing is called metaphor. So first we try to understand the basic similarities as well as the differences or dissimilarities between the simile and metaphor. Simile is also an art of comparing the same dissimilar thing, and metaphor is also an art of comparing dissimilar thing. But difference is that simile is an art of comparing at one point of view, but metaphor is an art of comparing at all point of view. This particular difference we have to consider. One more point that we can see under the case of simile. In simile, generally, or we can say commonly, we use as like before using particular case in our sentence. So it would be necessary to use at least like, as, etc. in case of simile. But in case of metaphor, we don't use. You can see De Costa fought the battle like a tiger. Here like, but here we don't have any like or dislike or as. So this particular difference we have to see at the time of using or at the time of understanding between the simile and metaphor. Now I come to the next device. Personification. In case of personification, an art of using inanimate object, that means non-living thing, as a living being, is called personification. That means in case of personification, inanimate object, that means non-living thing, are used in a such a way that they supposed to be like a living being. This case is called personification. Simple. The sun rises in the east. Here, the sun is not human being, but it rises. So we are giving treatment like the human being, and that's why this case is personification. Another example. Your pen has given me a great help. Your pen has given me a great help. You have not given the great help. Your pen has given. Pen is an inanimate object. How it can give help to someone? Of course. So we have used the case of personification. Many more examples are there in our lifestyle. Most of the places, in most of the cases, we use personification. We stand somewhere in queue. And a person is standing before you having the umbrella behind, and you get struck by the umbrella. Simply you say, your umbrella is stuck to me. That means that umbrella, what has done with you? It has created a problem. But that umbrella is not human being or something living being. How it can create the problem? But of course you have given the case of personification, and that's why it appears to us like living being, and that is the case of personification. So many more examples and other devices I will teach you in my next video. Thank you.